My TTC story, plans, and then we'll do an ovulation test. I hope you can hear me. I'm trying to speak up. I don't have the expensive equipment, so yeah. I don't have the lighting, I don't have the microphone, I don't have an expensive camera. Let's just do this. Okay. So I do already have 3 children, and I didn't really have happy pregnancies. I was happy about babies, but I was in bad situations. And by the time I had my 3rd son, I just was like, I don't want to go through this again. So I got a tubaligation. So I got my tubes tied. And I regretted it from like the second I did it. The second I woke up, I was just like, why did I do that? Anyways, kind of lived with that regret and always had it in my mind, I'm not done. I need to figure out how to get this reversed. Well, then I met my husband while I was working at a gym. We were both personal trainers, and we were friends first for like a month, and he was really curious about like what I want in life, like do you want more kids, all this, you know, basically filling me out to see if I was a good partner. And I was like, yeah, I'm not done. I really would like to get this reversed. So then we ended up in a relationship, and I got money from student loans and, you know, paid for like half of it, and then I paid for the other half, and then we flew out to Kentucky, and this was in 2012, December 2012, and went to Kentucky, and we saw Dr. Levin, and he performed the reversal for me. And then I had to fly home, and that was extremely painful. We had to fly home the next day because the package we got by paying for the tubal, we got like 2 nights in a hotel, the night before procedure and the night after procedure. So the next day we had to leave, and I had to get through airport security, cut open across my pubic line, and they're like, can you lift yourself up? And I'm like, I got cut open yesterday. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? I got cut open. I don't think so. So they gave me hell in the airport. Rough ride home in a vehicle. By the time we got home, I just collapsed on the ground in the driveway of pain. I was so afraid that from the airplane, the rough ride, that my tubes had like split open and it was all over then. Okay, so then we got married like 7 months later, and we wanted to wait till we were married, start trying, you know, kind of like do things right. I had never done it the right way, in my opinion, the right way. And I really wanted that for myself. I really wanted that for our relationship. So we started trying, and I was all set to like ovulate during our honeymoon, so it was perfect timing. But it didn't happen. And then it didn't happen again in the next cycle. And then the following cycle, no, 2 cycles later in October, I finally got a positive ovulation test, and we were already like trying, yada yada yada. It didn't happen, didn't happen, didn't happen. Went to the doctor finally after like over a year of trying, and they did blood work, and I was anovulatory, which meant I didn't ovulate that cycle, which meant there could possibly be a lot of cycles that I wasn't ovulating during. I was extremely disappointed. Okay, his stuff is all good. So we get referred to an RE, and they do like the baseline blood work, and they said, yeah, you have a lot of eggs. Your egg reserve is really good. So basically, I've got like this basket full of eggs, but I can't let go of them. I want to, but for some reason it just doesn't work for me. And so the next cycle, which was February of last year, we finally got to start our infertility treatment, and we decided to go with IUI. So cycle day 3, I started Clomid. Clomid, cycle day 3 through 7, I believe it's 5 days. And right away I started feeling side effects from that, which I was perfectly willing to put up with for the opportunity to have a baby from this. And then took the trigger shot, I did the trigger shot myself. Didn't really even feel the needle, but like 5 seconds later after the medication went in, it really burned. And I immediately, like, the next day started having, you know, pregnancy symptoms, and then, like, we did the IUI, and he put me on progesterone suppositories after the IUI. And I found out recently that when you have Hashimoto's, it's the worst thing you can do is to supplement progesterone. It causes a Hashimoto's response to it that screws all that up. So that IUI was not successful. I had myself convinced it was going to be, just first time going, that it was going to happen. So when I got negative after the trigger was tested out, I fell into like depression, because this is hard for people who want it so bad and it's just not happening. And so the following cycle we did it again, even though I was emotionally drained. He was emotionally drained from me going through so much. Physically, I couldn't really handle it, but we did it again anyway, and I was on progesterone again after the supposed ovulation day, and IUI. And I tested out my trigger with the first one. I got all excited, like, okay, now it's negative, so now all I gotta do is wait, and then it's gonna be positive. So the second cycle, I tried not to do that. I think I tested once, maybe twice, and just to make sure it was out. And then I waited, didn't wait that long. I mean, I didn't test as much. But same thing, it ended up being negative. I got another period, another depression. Then a couple cycles later, we couldn't really afford the whole IUI again, so we did a monitored cycle. So that's where they do their ultrasounds, and you take the Clomid, and then they do an ultrasound to check how your follicles are developing. And I had one big one that time. The first time I had 4, second time I had 2, third time 1. And so we did the trigger shot after it was determined that it was developed to the point where I was going to ovulate it, or not ovulate it on my own, but could. And we just did timing, and I took progesterone alone, again, because I didn't know yet that it would be like the worst thing I could ever do. So that was still like $150 down the toilet, because it wasn't successful. And I really had a lot of hope, just like I did the couple cycles before that. I had a lot of hope, and I just expected it to work. I expected it, and when it didn't, I was devastated. And so I have notes. I'm just gonna really quick. Oh yeah. So before we were allowed to do these infertility treatments, I had the HSG, hysterosalpingogram, and they put a catheter in your cervix and they insert dye. Well, the catheter in the cervix, that's like no big deal, but as soon as that dye hits your uterus, you get extreme cramping, and I mean like active labor it feels like you're pushed into active labor suddenly, and then you have to turn to one side so they can take x-rays of that side, and then you have to turn to the other side so they can take x-rays of that side. All of this probably took only 10 minutes, but it felt like I was in there for like 2 hours. The pain is extraordinary, and I took a pain pill before, and it still was so extreme, but both of my tubes are open, so that's totally not my issue. So, I'm checking my notes just to make sure. Okay, so we've just been kind of doing what we're doing, hoping for something to last about 4 cycles, maybe more, trying to get healthier. I've been vegan for now 5 months, and I just kind of expected it to happen on its own, and it hasn't. As you saw, it was kind of a good thing because I needed the tissue graft, but it's still a sore spot for me. Whether I look like it's okay or not, it's still a sore spot for me because I want to be able to do that. I never had to try before, and now I'm thrust into this position where I don't know if my body works anymore. I know the equipment's all there, it's full, I have what I need to do this, but it's just not happening. So future plans. Try again. Yes, we are trying again. We might actually be able to try again as soon as this next cycle. Right now I am about on cycle day 10, and if it doesn't happen this cycle just on its own, because honestly, even though I said we weren't trying, it's still like I'm hoping. I'm hopeful. If it could happen on its own, that would be amazing, and I would graciously accept the gift from God, just like I did with my 3 boys. Yeah, it's been really a painful reminder that I'm not in control, and I just have to pray and keep my faith strong that when it's meant to be, it will be. But since I'm done with that story, let's go take an ovulation test. Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so here is my ovulation test. Without, like, before it's dipped, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and dip that for about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it's already going. These tests are so tiny, and this camera's not the greatest, to be honest. I can't see, like, if I press the buttons to zoom out and zoom in, I can't see it doing that, so I'm really sorry if that was a mess. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna have to just like insert a picture when this is done because it's not working out with this camera. Ugh. Alright, so I'll be back. So thank Thank you so much for joining me for my TTC story, plans, and ovulation test. As always, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much to my subscribers. God bless you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.